Hello traders and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the major market sessions and when is the best time to trade Forex, trade currencies, trade stocks, whatever you trade. We're going to talk about the different market sessions that might pertain to wherever you are in the world and how you might find the best session for you. Let's go ahead and jump into it right now. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the channel. My name is Nick. I make all sorts of Forex related content here on YouTube for free. I do ask that if my content is helpful to you, give this video a thumbs up down below. It helps to grow the channel, and share this video with more traders around the world. So today we're going to be talking about the major market sessions and how to find the best times to trade the markets. Now there are, all time frames are not treated equally when it comes to trading Forex. There are different times or different times of the day that are more volume, less volume, more volatile, less volatile, that sort of thing. And today we're going to spot some ways that you can find kind of the major market sessions. Now what you can see here is that when you are pulling up on TradingView, I've got TradingView pulled up here. And what you'll see is I've got this little indicator on the chart, and this thing is super, super useful. I'm going to go into detail about what this sessions indicator will actually do for you. First of all, if you are using TradingView and you would like to get this on your chart, it's free. What you can see is I've got this sessions indicator over here. And to get that, I went to indicators. This is something free. And just look up sessions, okay? Sessions. And come down to here, I've got it favorited. Sessions on chart by AUROX_AIF. Whoever made this, thank you very much. This tool is awesome. And you can see if you click on this, it pulls up this thing which separates the different major market sessions. But before we get any further, let's talk about what those major sessions are, okay? This right here in the green is going to be our London session. And the pink here is going to be the US session, also known as the New York session. Okay, and so these are your major two sessions. Now there is a third one called the Asian session, and this is when the Asian markets are getting going. Likewise, the London session is going to be when Europe is kind of waking up and getting started. And then you have the US session, which of course is when New York City or the Eastern Coast in the United States starts opening their trading markets. Usually, these markets will start to pick up in volume. You'll start to see the markets move a little bit. As you can see here, take a look in the white. In the white, this partially encompasses the Asian session and also just kind of the quiet times in the markets when the markets aren't really open and they're not very active. And notice how in the white sessions, the market doesn't move a whole lot, right? As opposed to this area, which we can see a big area of movement. Again, on this 15-minute chart here on Euro USD, we saw some major movements at this kind of session area, right? When the London session was going, as well as the US session in the pink, right? We started to see the market actually get moving and actually give us some volume or some volatility to potentially trade. If you're an intraday trader, this is really, really important to you to understand, hey, when are these markets actually going to be moving so that I can show up and actually look to trade, right? If you're trying to trade anything in here, there's really not too much to do, right? Because the market is so quiet and there's really not a whole lot going on. If we kind of zoom back to some other examples, you can see that really during these major sessions, this is really where we get some major moves. You can see we had a really bullish push here, right, during that session. We had a really bearish push during this session. And notice again that during that Asian session or that off session, right, when the markets were quiet, we did not really get that going. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time about describing exactly when this exactly happens, right? What exact time this is, because if you use this session indicator, it's super easy to look it up. Now, down in the right-hand corner, you can see this is UTC -4. So this is my time frame, right? And this will, of course, be converted to yours when you're using TradingView. So it'll show you your time and when these sessions are. So for example, to me, trading the London session is not very good because me on the Eastern Coast here, if I want to trade the London session, it means that I have to get up at like 3 a.m., right? So the London session is 3 a.m. Eastern. It is 8 a.m. in London. So if you're in London, it might be a great time to trade the London session. Likewise, right? It makes sense. And if you are in the Eastern Coast in the US or you're in the US, this is going to be during our nighttime. So that's why they have the New York session. The New York session, of course, is in the pink here. And that's when things get going in the US, right? Now, the brown in the middle, guys, this is where the US session starts, but the London session is still open. And this is really where we get a lot of heavy volume for the trading day. When this kind of brown section here in the middle, that means that both London session is active and the New York session is active. Right? So you have both of those major markets and both of those major time frames active in the charts. And that's why we get a lot of volatility during that time. So if you're an intraday trader and you like to trade the kind of big volatility and you like to trade big momentum and movements in the markets, your time is probably going to be looking to trade during one of these major sessions, or at least when you see volatility in the market, right? Volatility tends to pick up again in these major sessions area. Again, this is a tool that you can get on MetaTrader, or sorry, not MetaTrader, TradingView for free. You can put it on there and you can start to play around with it. Now, within that, once you have that kind of scoped, then you're going to have to start looking for opportunities or, trading a style that works best for you. So it's one thing to know when the volatility is, but then you have to say, well, do I really want to trade volatility? Do I want to trade continuations of that volatility? Or do I want to trade kind of reversals? What we often see is that, the London session gets going and a market direction will push one way. And then sometimes we get a reversal on the New York and vice versa, right? Sometimes we see continuation. You have to start playing around and consider these major sessions because again, this is where New York starts and where the US markets pick up and start up. And then we have, again, that London session, right? So when we have those different market environments, sometimes we get major pushes off of a kind of pivotal zone, like down here. You can see price pushed off of that structure on the start of the New York session. It doesn't happen like that every single time, but you can see when those two markets get going, guys, that's really where we start to see a lot of volatility, right? So in this particular case, we had a bullish push. During the London session, we had a minor retracement at the start, and then overall got a really big bullish momentum push on the kind of New York session. So if we just kind of scroll back and look at some more examples here, you can see that overall, the market direction doesn't necessarily strongly continue or strongly reverse every single time the same way. But what we do have is that we do have almost certainly an increase in volatility from that Asian session. Now, some people will trade during this time frame. They will trade the quieter hours. They will find ways to trade maybe reversals or just kind of knowing that the market is not likely to continue very strongly in one direction. They might look to short, as price gets long-winded to the upside or long when it goes down, that sort of thing. So that's another way that you can trade it, right? So range-bound markets might be a way to trade that quieter session. So again, you'd have to figure out, again, using your time frame, what time is this going on if I want to trade that sort of market environment? And if I want to trade reversals, if I want to trade reversals on a longer term perspective or a swing trading session, your best bet to get a tight spread is going to be trading within that major volume. Now, when we're looking at these major sessions, again, we have the Asian session, we have the New York session, and we have the London session. But which one of these is the biggest? Which one is the smallest? Well, I'm going to list them out here in order, and we'll put number 3, the quietest is going to be the Asian session, okay? From a market movement perspective, the Asian session is typically a little bit quieter than the other two. The next one is the US session. This is the second biggest. Many people might be surprised that the US or the New York session is actually quieter than the London session. And that's because a lot of the foreign exchange market activity goes on in London, right? So it's kind of the capital of foreign exchange in some ways. So we have a lot of action going on in the London session. And you can see that quite often in that green area, that volatility really starts to pick up on that London session as things get going. It's the first major session of the day to really start moving. And of course, oftentimes that's where we get that kind of big momentum start to the day. People during the London session, London people and UK people and European people and all that side of the world is getting to their desk and they're starting off the trading day. And then we get that New York session coming into play shortly after, a couple hours into the London session. The US people get involved. The people over in the North American side of things, they start to get involved with the markets. And of course, then we have the Asian session to finish it off. So that's kind of the overall market movement, guys. Those are the major major sessions. If this has been helpful to you, let me know by liking the video down below. I do hope that now you've identified some of the major sessions. You can start looking for this. Again, you can use this indicator if it was helpful to you. Definitely something to plot on your TradingView chart. There might be some equivalents out there for MetaTrader. I do not use one myself, but there may be some opportunities. If anybody has ideas, you can comment them down below in the video. So thanks so much, guys, for watching. I do hope this was helpful to you, and we will catch you next time.